Hello there, and welcome back to Grace.Filled. I'm so excited that you chose to join me today. It's the most wonderful time of the week. It is Shabbat time. It is Sabbath time. Okay, it's Sabbath prep time. It means it's almost time, and what an exciting time it is. Our Heavenly Father created the entire world in 6 days. And on the seventh, he rested. And he was so loving and kind and amazing to us that he has given us the day of rest as well. In fact, he tells us to remember it and keep it holy. I don't know about you, but it's hard to rest on the Sabbath. It's hard to rest, period. Am I alone? Can anyone else agree and be honest and raw and vulnerable and say, it's not so easy to rest? People talk about it all the time. Rest, 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 rest. Oh, get your rest, get your sleep, go to bed earlier. But the reality is, it's hard. There are so many things that life grabbing for our time, for our attention, needing our time, needing our attention, especially as women, as wives, as moms, as homemakers, as homeschoolers, as home keepers of our gates, the gates of our homes. There's just so much to do. And honestly, I think all of us can realistically have a list every single day and have something to do from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed, if we were to be honest, and if we were to get every single thing possibly that we possibly can done. But we have that day for a reason, and so it's really important to use it wisely. First of all, how loving is our Creator that He tells us to rest? How awesome is the Most High? Who's really telling you to rest? And who's really telling you to be more, do more, give more? And you're not enough. You're not doing enough. You're not giving enough. Sometimes we have so many voices, so many influences. It's just wise to take a step back and truly examine your heart. Examine your life. I always ask myself the same question. I know I say it in all the videos. There may be someone who's new, so I want to say it in case it blesses them. The question I ask myself and try to filter everything I do is through this question. Why do I do what I do? Why do I do what I do? This is a good question because it makes you think about the posture of your heart. And you know what? It matters and it's so important. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because although for Sabbath prep, it's typically associated with what you see in this video, me cleaning, organizing, decluttering, stocking, preparing food, all those things, preparing for the next day, preparing the home, preparing the outer. But you guys know here on my channel, often we're talking about the inner. We're talking about those things that can't be seen and those things that are easy to be hidden. We're talking about the heart. And on the Sabbath, I think it's just important for us to take time to sit with our hearts. And that's what I did this past Sabbath. I literally sat with the broken parts of me, with the hurting parts of me, with the parts of me that was having a hard time, with the parts of me that were confused, with the parts of me that didn't make sense. See, I think we all have this 75, 80, 90, 95 96, 97, 98, even 99% of us, where life is just absolutely amazing. Where, although no one can say life is perfect, we could say, you know what, it's pretty darn close. But what I know is that we all have that 1, 5, 10, 15, 20% that's just not going the way we want it. That just doesn't make us happy. And that really causes us pain, grief, discomfort, confusion, anxiety, depression, stress. Or maybe we just simply avoid it and ignore it as if it does not exist. I want to challenge you to sit with it. Sit with it so you can figure out what's going on. Why do you feel the way you feel? And honestly, get to the root of it. Once you are able to get to the root of a thing, you are then able to conquer it. You are then able to move forward past it. But you have to acknowledge it. We are overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. Does that sound like acknowledging and confessing it so we can move on? I think so. There are so many scriptures about the heart and the importance of the heart. And so it's so important that we work on keeping our hearts pure. I'm not saying we have to be perfect, but I'm saying we should be intentionally pursuing pure hearts. That we should be intentionally guarding our minds, our eyes, our ears, our mouths. We should not be saying and doing and eating and drinking and watching and listening to everything. And with so much noise in the world, I think you'd be the better off if you didn't do those things. If you didn't allow some of those things to permeate and infiltrate our homes and our hearts and our souls and our spirits. The Most High God, Yah, did not give us the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And so anything that comes to threaten the sound mind, anything that comes to threaten the peace, and anything that comes to bring fear, it's not a good thing. And so then the question must be evaluated. How is this thing coming into my life? How is this thing coming into my family's life? How is this thing coming into my home? And once you know that, you can then begin to make plans, to stand at attention in that area, to guard that area, to protect you and your family's life in that area. Oh, sweetheart, your role is so much more than you know. It's so much more than pretty robes and a beautiful house. So much more than amazingly crafted aprons and all the thrifted treasures in the world. So much more than that. So much more than creating an atmosphere. So much more than the love that you share and the amazing meals, keeping it tidy. All those things are good. All those things are great. Creating spaces for everyone, making everyone feel comfortable, loved, cherished, welcome, invited. Being able to show hospitality to all who enter. Amazing. but we are also gatekeepers. We are keepers of our home. We set a tone for our home. And we are one of the first lines of defense. We have an important job. And I think one of the biggest lies told to homemakers, to homekeepers, to wives, to stay-at-home women is that we don't matter. Is that we don't have worth. And we're not as important because we're not working and being independent and making our own money. There's a lot of people who do a lot of things for a lot of reasons. And I understand and I respect all of that. I have worked inside and outside of the home since I've been married, with the exception of maybe 1 year combined. So it's not even about who's working and who's not working, whether you're working inside the home, outside the home, etc. What matters is how you're keeping the gates of your home, how you're standing at attention, what you're allowing to penetrate and come into your home atmosphere. We have to be really careful because things that look, appear, and seem one way are often mislabeled. I had this grand idea that I would make these cinnamon rolls from scratch for my family. You guys know when we go to Whole Foods, I always buy the cinnamon rolls, the vegan ones that they have, and my children love it. But they are like $5 a pack because we are plant-based, and they cost like $5. And so honestly, I had to buy 2 packs. They cost $10. And so whenever I can, I try to just make these at home myself because I can make it for so much cheaper. It's just, I always say, you have time or you have money. So in seasons I have more time, I do everything from scratch on my own. Times when I don't, I try to find the money so that I can have more time. But I was so excited making these for the Sabbath because I just knew everyone was going to love them. And I thought this would be such a beautiful surprise, either for a snack or for breakfast. You know, just something, think about like a muffin so that you didn't have to worry about it. And it was enough for everybody to get like 2 nice sized ones. And then, like I said, we probably could have some fruit or yogurt, something to go with it. That was my thought and that was my plan. But what I realized is that I had an imposter. I filled all my jars. I did videos of that, me organizing and arranging my pantry, baked good items. In some kind of way, I mislabeled one of the ingredients. What I actually did was I had them swap. I had the baking soda swapped with the powdered sugar. Oh, what a grave, costly mistake that was. And it was funny because when I was mixing the mixture, I said, this doesn't look like it normally does. I was like, well, okay. So, infiltration happened. I perceived something wasn't right. I was not sure what was not right. And instead of stopping to further investigate, explore the idea that something's going wrong here, I continued. doing what I wasn't sure and what I was pretty confident was something that wasn't right. Please tell me I'm not the only one that this has happened to. When you guys notice that things aren't right, do you keep going? Like, look at even when I poured that milk and look at when I'm spreading it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why is it spreading like this? I have never seen icing spread like this in my life. What's happening? What's going on? I was just looking at how they looked and I was like, this is so ugly. And at this point, I realized the grave mistake. But when I looked over at my children, they were so happy. They had so much joy. And instead of me being frustrated, instead of me being hard on myself, instead of me being upset, I decided to roll with it. Literally, like cinnamon roll with it. And so what I did was I cut off the tops. It made for a very small cinnamon roll, but the tops is where the baking powder was. So instead of throwing the whole batch away, I was able to salvage it. But let this be a reminder and an eye-opener for you to be mindful, to be alert, to see beyond sight, to hear beyond hearing, to know beyond knowledge. Because there was something that didn't look right. There was something that wasn't mixing right, that wasn't spreading right. And instead of stopping and addressing it, I just continued with it. Why? Because it was labeled right. It was the right color. And I just thought it might have been me. So, as we continue to prepare our homes and hearts for this Sabbath, is there anything in your life that maybe is labeled right, that looks the same color, that appears what it should be, but that's really bitter and not good for you, that will really make you twitch when you bite into it and really make you sick ultimately if you eat it or eat too much of it? And if it's something or someone, can you swiftly deal with it? Can you swiftly get it out of your life? Because here's the deal. That cost me time, money, resources, energy, and I was so excited and it let me down. I had to then settle for something half the size of what I was entitled to. So it wasn't worth it to me. I lost. But did I lose? Or did I get something out of something? Because I got the half rolls and because I was able to share this with you and hopefully encourage you on this Sabbath as you're going along your way, as you're keeping your home. Well, I'm never out of words, but I am out of time. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. If it encouraged you, if you enjoyed it anyway, would you consider subscribing? Would you give me a thumbs up and a comment and share with a friend? All those things are free and it helps my channel so much. It means that I can continue to come back week after week, sharing what the Most High God has put on my heart and sharing how I do things here to get ready. Until the next video, blessings.